during the break for me, I watched almost no wrestling.
Oh,
Now, for a lot of reasons, but one, this to me is the best time of year for shoot sports, we'll call them.
Yeah.
yeah.
This is the best time of year. We're in the throes of football. Basketball's about to start back. Baseball is in their playoffs, about to have the World Series. NHL has started back. Like, this is the best time of year for sports. And I have been so very hooked on watching these shoot sports that it made me want to see some more of, and I've kind of talked about this a little bit before, but like I've been trying to, as I've been watching these, is thinking like, how can we apply some of the feelings and emotions from these real world sports to wrestling to make them more entertaining and to make it more relatable and easier to connect to. And I think that you hit on it with talking about Santana, about how he just feels like this. It just feels organic with him, right?
Yeah.
And I think that that's the big thing. It's hard to manufacture that.
Yeah.
Otherwise it would be done all the time. But like, I just think that wrestling, I think, needs to do a better job of following the heat when there's heat. And because I understand this mindset of like, oh, well, they're a flash in the pan. They're a whatever. Like, one of the biggest examples to me is LA Knight.
Mm-hmm.
He's still wildly popular and he's still wildly over, but his peak, we did nothing with him.
Yeah.
Like, it felt like nothing happened with him. When you're watching stuff like last night, I watched Game 7 of the ALCS between the Blue Jays and the Mariners, because you're talking about these are two organizations in the Blue Jays who haven't been to the World Series in 32 years. And the Mariners who have never been to the World Series.
Wow. Yeah,
And
I know, it's crazy.
That is, and listening to the crowd at Rogers Center for the Blue Jays, like, the atmosphere was electric. And I'm just trying to think of more ways, is like what does wrestling need more of to capture that? Because I think when it's at its best is when it has captured that. We just saw it with Santana. You mentioned it with Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 40. These are these seemingly organic moments where we followed the heat, so to speak, and made it pay off. Now, if it had been WWE, Santana, they'd be like, no, he's got to wait a year or two to win it because for some arbitrary reason. Like, it feels like that would have happened instead of like just continuing to tell the story the best way possible to fit like what we're doing. And we've talked about it so many times on here that wrestling is so good when you pivot. But like, who doesn't love watching an underdog? And who doesn't love watching two underdogs who have are in a situation to make their dreams come true and they've never been there? If we don't do something like that, give me the Mariners and Blue Jays arc with Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
Sami Zayn's never won a world championship on the main roster.
Yep.
First of all, that's a crime. But second of all, like, my God, let's go with that story. And I hope that Dragunov taking the title off of him, which was another big shocker to me, a huge pleasant surprise. I hope that that's the direction that we're maybe going to start heading with Sami, but I don't know.
Sure.
But I feel like there's ways that we can implement shoot sports and things that happen within it to build more tension or excitement or things like that. And I wrote like the two biggest ideas that I wrote down. One I have talked about on here before. I want an independent arbitrary committee ranking the top 10 wrestlers
Okay. Well,
in a
like
given company or in the business?
in a given company.
Okay.
So WWE has
So
their
power rankings.
Yes, and now we've
Is that
kind of
what you
done
mean?
stuff. We've kind of done stuff like that before. AEW did it with ranking
Yeah.
people based on their records and that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. But see, this is where the fun comes in, because the one thing everybody's bitching about every college football season is that these who are the people that are in charge of these rankings? How are you going to have this team over that team? Well, because that team has one loss. Well, and this team has one loss and this one has 0. Yeah, but this one loss was to the number 2 team, and they've also beat 3 ranked opponents.
We
and they're
should
playing,
do
and they're in
a ranking of our own, I think.
I mean, something like that. But like, what can be fun is like it's you have this committee, and it's made of, like, let's say we do it with WWE. You bring in some, your commissioner of that committee is Mick Foley, right?
Yeah.
And then you have
Mhm.
a few other
okay.
people who are in it, and then they, announce every week, every month, whatever it is, here's the rankings for this week. And it's just like the top 10. And your champion is not ranked because they're a champion. So you just do like the number 1 team is like the number
okay,
one
I get it.
contender.
is the number 1 contender. But then it's like, because then you can have people argue about, like, well, he doesn't belong there because he beat him, or why is he higher when he's fought lesser opponents?
That is literally what AEW did, though, right? And people hated it. So
The power ranking
the
thing?
power ranking.
Yeah.
Didn't they do that? I mean, because I remember
And
it was
but I
kind of
think,
like
like,
that, because like someone got a title shot because their rank was like a particular, I forget who it was, and then people were like, "That's stupid. Why would she hasn't won anything? Why would she get this title match?"
But that's exactly what I think kind of makes it, because then you can fabricate whatever you want to make these situations, and like, you can always play it off as like, oh well, creative decision. Why don't you talk to the guys who are doing the rankings over here? They're the ones
it's
who put.
important to have like a character associated to it, because I think where AEW
Yes, that's exactly. That's why I said,
was that it was like an arbitrary thing, and then it came out, and then you're like, okay, who's deciding this? Oh, it's just like a couple people in a boardroom who you don't know.
No.
Whereas,
right.
yeah,
and which is kind of how it is with college football rankings, quite honestly. But like, there is a face of it. There's a chairman every year, or chairperson every year, and you do the same kind of thing. And you're like, oh well,
basically,
yeah. And it's like, well, these are the people. And then he comes on ESPN and explains, okay, why did you rate this person, this person, this person, whatever. I just think it gives people more to talk about. You can fabricate these like underdog situations where, whoa, hey, this guy came flying up the rankings out of nowhere. Why
like
is he suddenly up
situations. You got to let the creatives create. And when you're running everything through, like, who gets you the most numbers? Oh, hey, Jey Uso and CM Punk are going to sell out, like the most people, make people care the most for the Saturday Night Main Event. Yeah, or you could have done LA Knight. And that could have been even better. In fact, I would even say that would have been better.
Could have been solved with a ranking system. That's all I'm.
Okay, you and the convoluted ranking system. I can't.
The overlords.
The damn right. Okay, you got to pick. You pick Jake for WWE. Who would be on the ranking council? Pick 3 people. I'll pick for AEW. Matt pick for TNA. Who would you independent ranking council? Who would it be for WWE? And Matt, do you have any thoughts? Anyone on TNA that you can immediately say?
Me?
Yeah.
I would choose myself.
Yes,
of course.
That would be great. Honestly, you would be oh, dude, that'd be such a funny character. Like
I would love it.
You're the
Matt drunk with power.
Yeah, who also is like the head of the independent
ranking. He's the tastemaker. Yeah, I'm the tastemaker of TNA.
People jump on commentary to try and sweeten their deal with you, bro. That'd be so funny. Oh man,
It'd be a lot of fun.
That actually would be great.
I would do No, for real though, I would do Tom Hannafin,
Okay.
Tommy Dreamer,
Okay.
Okay.
and Bully Ray.
Oh God.
Because Bully and Tommy would fight each other over everything,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Tom would just be trying to referee it in the middle,
Yeah.
and I would get to laugh.
Love it. Love it. Okay. For me, I would do Don Callis.
And I was going to say real quick,
Oh.
I think we should make a caveat. Not obviously these should be people who are not like active in ring
Yes.
competitors in some fashion, whether authority figure or retired or whatever.
Yeah. So I was going to say Don Callis because he weasels his way onto the commission. Obviously, goes without saying. Chuck Taylor. I think Chuck Taylor would be great.
Okay.
You know, because he can kind of be like the babyface balance between them. And then Renee Paquette. Renee can be, you know, I think Renee would be a great kind of mediator. To try
she's
and
the straight
balance.
man
Yeah,
of the group. She's the
straight man of
she's
the
the
group.
voice of reason.
Yeah. So I would go that route, and then obviously Renee and Don will form a coup and out Chuck Taylor. You know, in storyline, because eventually, for me in my story, Renee will join the Death Riders, and then the Death Riders and Don Callis family will merge forces, and then it'll become a super faction. It'll basically become the Corporation 2.0.
The Death Rider family, the corporate ministry.
The corporate ministry.
That worked out real well.
Actually, Jake, who's your independent commission?
All right, the aforementioned Mick Foley.
Okay,
is of course. I think he's got to be one. My next one is William Regal.
Love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he would be perfect.
Leaning very babyface though so far. How are you going to balance that out?
I don't know that necessarily that he is.
Regal is an infamous heel.
I mean, yes, I mean, in his now he's such a beloved figure.
His NXT time, he's been very
such a
babyface,
beloved
figure.
But
now when he puts on his thinking cap and he gets mixed up in the, I don't know.
Okay,
the third one that I thought of was Bad News Barrett.
Oh, I love that.
I'd kind of love Barrett because then you have Drew McIntyre trying to get in Barrett's ear, like
not Big E.
Big E would be another great one, but again,
really
you know,
good.
actually,
he loves college sports too, so he gets the system.
I do have a substitute.
Yes. Oh, maybe you're right. Okay, good point.
Because you're making me think now, and I like Renee Paquette, but honestly, Sting. I'll put Sting in there. So for me, it'll be Chuck Taylor, Sting, and Don Callis.
That's a great commission. That's a great committee. Yeah.
He always attends committee meetings in makeup.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
From the scene.
Dude, the freaking the gray hair mane.
Yeah. Old man Sting is great. Old man Sting is great.
Silver Fox Sting
all
I'm
saying is, like, just give me a comic book. Like, let DC
Logan
do
vibes, dude.
An Old
Logan
Man Sting
vibes.
comic. It would be way too good. All right. So I have Old Man Sting, Chuck Taylor, Don Callis for AEW. Matt, you have for TNA. Who is it again?
Tom Hannafin, Tommy Dreamer, and Bully Ray.
Yeah, Tom will do. He's going to do great there. And then Jake, who do you have for WWE?
I've got Mick Foley, William Regal, and Bad News Barrett.
Okay,
though Big E is a good alternate.
Love it.
Big E's a good spokesman, perhaps.
Let us know in the comments who your independent wrestling commission would be, what promotion. And it's got to be inactive people, not active wrestlers. Yes. Okay,
correct.
It's very, very important. All right, because I thought about Nigel, but Nigel sometimes likes to, dabble in and out of the ring.
Sure,
so you can't do that. You can't do that.
Well, then he's ineligible to be ranked. Then that way,
exactly.
You get into
then he's okay. Now it makes sense. Now he's ineligible to be ranked. Before we